Hello fans, it's your king and leader, beacon of moral fortitude, Cody the King of YouTube, coming at you live, hot and ready, with another groundbreaking video. I decided to study this certain topic for reasons I won't go into right now. But I was consuming all of the Ted Bundy content on the web. I watched just about every video. I looked at every single YouTube comment. I read all the articles. I read all the scholarly articles. I looked at all the newsreels back from Ted Bundy's heyday. I looked at all of that, and what struck me was nobody could seem to agree on the exact psychological analysis of Mr. Bundy's mindset. Nobody had a clear answer. Nobody did. You'd look in the comments, you'd look at the videos. Some people would say he was a sociopath. Some people, another commenter would say, no, you idiot, he's not a sociopath, he's a psychopath. And then another commenter would say, ooh, boy, I want to kill you. He's not a psychopath. He's a malignant narcissist. And then the next commenter would say, oh, I'm going to kill you and your entire family. He's bipolar, not a narcissist. And it would just devolve into all these commenters giving very detailed descriptions of how they were going to murder each other and each other's families. It was a very disgusting sight to see. So I thought, how can I bring some peace to these lost souls? How can I bring some peace to these people? Give them a little bit of, give them a clear mind on all this. So I decided I have to give the final psychological analysis, the end-all psychological analysis of Ted Bundy that will finally clear up the debate. Ted Bundy, his real name was Theodore, but he chose to go by Ted, which was actually pretty cool, pretty good choice. That kind of shows you how much charisma this guy had. And you look at Ted Bundy, he's probably one of the most handsome men to ever live. So of course that was a big part of his appeal. Let's take a look. I drew a little picture right here. Let's take a look at this. That, of course, is from the famous moment when he said that he would plead innocent right now to when the cops were right near him. And you look at him, look at his eyes, look at his facial structure. Look at how he does his hair even. He's a very handsome, charismatic man. It's no wonder. You couple that, the fact that he's so handsome, and his reputation for the things he did as a bad boy, ooh, women go wild. They can't get enough of that. He got love letters, thousands of love letters, and I'm not making this up. And look at this right here. This is a recreation of a love letter I made to sort of give you an idea of what we're talking about here. And of course, sometimes they would likely draw pictures. That's Ted Bundy and the lady giving each other a kiss in a heart. But here's the recreation of the love letter. Dear Ted, I know they don't know the real you. Only I know the real you. You sweet, handsome, misunderstood man. See, the ladies, they just went wild, You got a handsome guy, you got a guy that's a bad boy. They can't, it's deeply ingrained in their psyche to go after that. But Ted Bundy, let's get to the psychological analysis. No, he was not a psychopath. No, he was not a sociopath. He was not a narcissist, and he was not bipolar. All of that is simply not true. What Ted Bundy was, and it was noted early on to some degree, he had ADD. Now, I take it a step further, and I will tell you he had what is called, and I'm probably one of the only ones to name this term, to use this term, he had malignant ADHD. Now, ADD, when you look at it, it's when you can't focus on something, you can't pay attention for very long or focus on one thing. Ted, he had this. He couldn't really stay focused on one thing. He couldn't really hold down a job for a while. But what takes it a step further, what makes it malignant, is that Ted Bundy could only focus on the one thing that brought him the most satisfaction of anything else in life, which sadly was murder. That was the only thing he could focus on. Now, people that have malignant ADHD, some examples throughout history are probably people like Gandhi, people like Adolf Hitler. They just couldn't focus on, they could only focus on one thing, that, and it becomes malignant because it clouds out any other healthy things that could have balanced it, and you're only focused on that one thing, and it's to the detriment of everything else in your life. As you can see, Ted Bundy was very handsome, very charismatic. He actually had a good job when he did have a job for a little bit. He was going to law school. He was a very smart guy, very articulate, well on his way to being one of the top guys in the world. But of course, he decided to murder people, and that malignant ADHD caused him to have to do that because he couldn't focus on one thing. He'd have to go from one murder to the next, the only thing that would bring him satisfaction. So the complete psychological analysis of Ted Bundy, he had malignant ADHD, a very bad case of it. It's safe to say, folks, Ted Bundy, he did have some problems.